on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
Good morning, good morning. It's Morning with Vernon, y'all. Good morning. Today is Thursday, y'all. February the 19th. Thursday, February the 19th, y'all. Yes, sir. And yes, ma'am. We want to welcome everybody to Morning with Vernon. Morning with Vernon. If you're looking at us on Facebook or if you're looking at us on social media, y'all like, strive, and do all the stuff you need to do on social media, okay? If you don't have it, get it. Only thing you have to do is click on in your browser, rdo.to/WBQP, okay? That's all you have to do. I had a QR code here as well. You can click on the QR code and you can get it as well. I'll bring it up sometime this year, sometime this morning with the QR code on it and everything. So you can get Vernon this morning just that easy. See, bring it up there. There it is right there, right there. Just get your phone, click on that, and it'll take you directly to us. Or you can just type it right into your browser, okay? Just type it right into your browser. That's the only thing that you have to do. All right, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Morning with Vernon. Let me go over just kind of a preview of what we're going to do this morning. You know, today is Thursday, and I start a regular routine, excuse me, routine Thursday, y'all, where we have our normal little news report that we do on Thursday morning, right here. News that you can use. News around the world, news around America, news around the state of Florida, news around Escambia County, news around city of Pensacola, and news right around your community. We go to Cheryl. She give us the weather. And then we have some Black history facts that we're going to talk about this morning. And also today is Thursday. We are going to have a Santa Rosa report, okay? We're going to have a Santa Rosa report with with Christina and BJ and Jerry McIntosh would join us. Jerry McIntosh would join us around the 8 o'clock time frame. And then Miss Robin Richard is also going to join us with some local Black history, and we're going to talk about some other events that's going to be on at the Kukua Institute. So we got a good show lined up for you today, y'all, and just need you to stick around. All I need you to do is just let everybody know. Just let everybody know that Morning with Vernon is on. And so you just go and you just tell them, Morning with Vernon's on, y'all. Stay tuned to it. Whether you're going to do it in social media, however you're going to do it. All right, we'll be right back after these messages.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
These new Times the Cash scratch-offs have a fun multiplier feature. They're fun. You're fun. We're fun. Agree to agree.
Times the Cash scratch-offs from the Florida Lottery. It's good fun. Looking for a moment of faith, hope, and connection? Join us for Prayer Perspectives by J.O. Gatson, live on WBQP TV and WBQP Radio. Every first Wednesday of the month from 9 to 10 p.m. Call in, share your prayer request, and receive prayer in real time. Mark your calendar starting February 4th. Prayer, Perspective, Power. Only on WBQP TV and WBQP Radio.
Viola's Menswear, 2727 West Cervantes Street, Pensacola, Florida. Gentlemen, fine clothing at an affordable price. Suits starting at $139. Dress, shoes, hats, and accessories. Here at Viola's Menswear, 2727 West Cervantes Street in Pensacola, Florida. Call today at 429-7146, 2727 West Cervantes Street in Pensacola, Florida.
Navigating heart care can be challenging. Baptist makes it better with the latest treatment. Largest, most experienced heart team ready to create a care plan just for you. All when you need us most. Let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
Some mobile companies make it hard to get a good deal. But at Cox Mobile, we know there's a better way to save. A smarter way. That's why we run on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability without breaking the bank. You'll pay as low as $30 per line. It's a win-win. Cox Mobile, the smart way to mobile.
Hi, I'm Bubba Peters with the Escambia County Property Appraiser, reminding you that March is the deadline to file for your homestead exemption, which reduces your property tax. You can file on our website or visit our office. You will need a valid Florida ID and Social Security numbers for each owner. Owners with disability and seniors over 65 may qualify for additional exemptions. Our friendly staff will be happy to assist you with filing for any additional exemptions that you may qualify for. If you have any questions, please call us at 434-2735 or visit our website at escpa.org.
Got projects in mind? A Pen Air home equity line gives you access to funds without the fees. Pen Air Credit Union. Join us.
I remember these. Will I have the money to send my kid to college? Well, that's specific. How long has that been there? 7-letter word for a bank that helps you reach your goals.
Synovus. Order for Synovus?
Thank you.
Are you Synovus?
Yes.
Are you going to ask or should I?
A solid financial future doesn't happen by chance. Let's talk about your potential today.
Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home has been in business since 1913. Hi, I'm David Hawkins, the owner of Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, saying we are a full-service funeral home. We offer pre-need funeral planning. We have a newly remodeled chapel and conference facility. Stop by and see us today. We have 9 vehicles, all waiting to service you. At Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, we appreciate your stopping by. On behalf of all of our family here at Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, thank you so much for allowing our family to serve you.
Larry Williams, your ECUA board member for District 3, presents the 4th Annual Community Prayer Breakfast, Saturday, February 21st, from 9 a.m. until 12 noon. This year's theme, The Church Prayed, Acts 12 and 5. On Saturday, February 21st, a delicious breakfast will be served. Our MC will be Anita Cromartie. Music by the Spiritual Persuaders. A cute comedy skit by Shatarish Girl. Several visionary voices will speak. Our keynote speaker will be Pastor Darian Horton of North Carolina. Community Service Leadership Lifetime and Legacy Award recipients will be announced Saturday, February 21st, 2026, 9 a.m. until 12 noon at the Pensacola Improv, 375 North Pace Boulevard. Donations are $20 in advance and $25 at the door. Youth 12 and under accompanied by an adult are free. Get your tickets now at the Original King's Barbershop. Get your tickets, they are available right now. Sponsorship to support seniors and our youth are being solicited and will be recognized. For more info, contact Larry Williams at 850-292-7139.
This is Prayer Perspectives by J.O. Gatson on your WBQP.
Father God, right in the midst of our coming this morning, we come praying in confidence and trusted comfort while conceding our will to your will, because thou art the Almighty of the heavens and earth. It's by your grace and mercy we have come this morning, making good our living that you may be satisfied. In the name of Jesus, the Christ, we pray. Amen.
This is Prayer Perspectives by J.O. Gatson on your WBQP.
Hi, Vernon. Here's a quick look at the week ahead. Monday starts with morning clouds and areas of dense fog, but we'll see sunshine by afternoon with a high of 70 and a low of 55. Tuesday stays partly cloudy with more morning fog. Highs hold near 69 with a low of 60. By Wednesday, clouds increase and temperatures warm up to the mid-70s with a mild low of 64. Thursday turns even warmer, mostly cloudy early, then things clear up in the afternoon, reaching a high of 76 degrees. Friday is more of the same, with temperatures reaching 77, a low of 64, and a 40% chance of rain. Overall, it's a week of warm temperatures with foggy mornings, increasing clouds, and rain chances. That's your WBQP TV weekly weather. I'm Cheryl Mulrain. Have a safe and wonderful week.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
All right, y'all. Good morning. You got Morning with Vernon. Thursday morning, y'all. A terrific Thursday, tremendous Thursday, a teachable Thursday, whatever you want to call it this morning. I want to say good morning to everybody on the sound of my voice this morning, on the listening to us on WBQP radio or WBQP TV, or perhaps both. Yep, perhaps both. WBQP TV and WBQP radio. Like I said before, y'all, if you want to get us there, go ahead and type in your browser and get us. Use the QR code. We got a QR code that you can use as well to get us. Or just download us on the app. Just download the WBQP TV app, and then you got us. Live and in living color. Our radio is a little different than everybody else's radio, because we got radio you can see. Since I'm a television man, and I figured that we'll get radio people the same opportunity. You got an option. You can watch the radio or you can listen to the radio. If you watch it, you can watch it on TV just like you normally do everything else. But if you just want to listen to it, just go to your normal radio sources, okay? But today's sources, you got to bring everything up to date, because a lot of folks don't have radios in the houses like they used to. Now, I got these these smart, what they call smart listening devices, such as Alexa and Amazon. You know, the not Amazon, but the Google assistants and stuff like that. And the only thing you got to do, you don't have to dial no channel. The only thing you got to do, it says, Alexa, play WBQP, and she'll bring it right on up there. But one thing you have to do, though, one thing you really have to do with Alexa, you just have to tell her that we're there, okay? You have to activate the skill. So if you have an Alexa, you just tell them to, Alexa, activate the WBQP skills, and they're active. She'll activate it. Then that's a one-time request, and once she activate it, and then the only thing you got to tell us, Alexa, I want to listen to WBQP. Alexa, play WBQP, and then you got it there from henceforth and forevermore. If you're in your car, you can do it on CarPlay. You know, if you're traveling, you know, folks that use CarPlay, Auto Android, you know, folks that know what I'm talking about, know what I'm talking about. You can get us there as well. Or you can just listen to us right here on the telephone. Nothing, see, right here in the palm of your hand, right here in the telephone, said, see, it's the Vernon this morning. Just look at the app on your telephone and listen to us there. Okay. All righty, y'all. Good morning, everybody. I just want to get a little bit of stuff into the news this morning. Okay. Let's go to some of the headlines that we're going to be talking about over the years. Okay. Alrighty, y'all. Let's talk about some news you can use on a Thursday morning, y'all. Yeah. By now, I know everybody have heard the fate of Reverend Jesse L. Jackson, y'all. We lost Reverend Jackson several days ago. And so you'll hear a lot more about that. You know what? I am quite surprised by y'all president. Don't make me have my Trump syndrome. Okay, don't make me do my Trump syndrome. But he had some relatively nice things to say. Not nasty. Well, let me say nothing nice about that man, in my opinion. Okay, in my opinion, I'll preface everything with my opinion because that's how I feel about it. But he had some not so nasty things to say about Jesse Jackson. In fact, some folk would think that, well, you know, he had some nice things to say about him, but they were trolling him on the internet yesterday, though, but because he did say something nice about Jesse Jackson, and he said, yeah, he felt sorry for Jesse, and he known the family for a long time, so he know Tito, he knew Michael, and he know all the Jackson family. so that's how they were trolling him yesterday on the news. But nevertheless, I think America is saddened by the death of one of our greatest civil rights leader, Mr. Jesse Jackson, y'all. Yeah. All right, can we move on? We can move on to some other news here in around Pensacola. News that you're going to hear a lot more talk about in the days to come. Okay, because a person is dead after an officer involved shooting here in Pensacola on yesterday at the Pensacola Carlton Palms. Okay, as a male. They didn't say black male. I didn't see that. The information is quite sketchy now, but I don't know. When I read the reports about it, it just say a male. Usually, it is a black male involved. A picture and they would lead the story off with a black male suspect died following the officer involved shooting. The only thing I saw prior to this broadcast here, let's say a male suspect is dead after an involved shooting in Pensacola yesterday evening. Around, I guess the shooting must have occurred right around 3:40 in the afternoon at the Carlton Palms condominiums here on Jordan Street. Somebody described a man was shooting inside of the residential place, and so police responded, and then they asked him to come out. They said he did not come out. When he came out blazing, I guess. So the police responded to it. My officer Mike Woods said that at least 4 shots was fired on the floor, and then they responded. They swept the building, and the suspect was spotted carrying a gun in the parking lot, and 3 officers were there on the scene. They confronted him, and they demanded him to drop the weapon. But according to the Pensacola Police Department, they said the suspect refused to drop the weapon, and then the officer shot. The officer then shot and injured him, and they took him to the hospital, where he subsequently died at the hospital. According to Officer Mike Woods, the suspect refused several orders to put the gun down, and then that's when officer shot him. Since it is a law enforcement officer involved shooting, generally speaking, the FDLE, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, usually handles the investigation. Okay, so that's it. We're gonna hear a lot more about that as well. Okay, another incident that happened here in Pensacola. Pensacola police have arrested this driver here on DUI manslaughter after the accident that happened on Scenic Highway. You know, we reported that sometime last week. They did some investigation. The traffic homicide investigator said that when that accident happened, I think it's happened back in very late January, when a blue Jeep, remember we showed the blue Jeep on here, the 60-year-old man by the name of Wayne Scott Dines, he was driving that blue Jeep when he crossed the center line there near on Scenic Highway and collided into those vehicles, and 2 individuals in the vehicle died as a result. One died on the scene, and one died later in the hospital. So police has arrested this man on 2 counts of DUI manslaughter, and charged him with DUI involving serious crash and manslaughter. So he's been arrested out of town. So they're waiting to extradite him to back to Pensacola. Okay. All right. Let's turn the page on another issue that's here in Escambia County. The folks up in Walnut Hill area are complaining that it takes too long to get an ambulance out in the county. Okay, being in rural North Escambia County, that has become a real issue. And I believe they got only 1 ambulance up in that area, up in the Flomaton area. And if that ambulance is out on another call, you know, it takes some time, maybe 30, 40 minutes to get a response for an ambulance coming in when they call 911. So the community is saying that they need some relief there. They are not getting services fast enough to serve the community. if somebody had a heart attack or something like that, they saying that they need some relief in that. So you're going to hear a lot more about that, and maybe they'll put another ambulance service up in that area, but we will see. All right, moving right along. A Texas truck driver was found dead in his 18-wheeler. You know, they had to do, somebody obviously called to do a welfare check. Why? I don't, I'm not sure, but a 49-year-old man from Texas was found dead in his semi truck after somebody called to do a welfare check on him over in Santa Rosa County. When troopers got there, they was on Interstate 10 westbound. They were near, I guess they was near the mile marker 28, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But by the time they got there, they found the man unconscious and they pronounced him dead. By the time he got to the hospital, they don't suspect foul play in this incident here. So we'll have to see what happens. All right, let's move right along. Friends say that there's some repeated wounds is being opened in the death of this young lady that they arrested. That they arrested the man the other day, and they trying to extradite him back for the murder of his girlfriend, and so the family is a little concerned. It's a little concerned about that because they saying that because Alabama is trying to seek the death penalty with it. It's kind of is delaying the case and kind of opening up some old wounds. And so the family is really concerned about it right now. Okay. All right. Moving right along. In some national news, you're going to hear a lot more about this. They're talking about social media. They had Zuckerberg. I think his name is Zuckerberg. He's the guy that's in charge of Meta. If you don't know who Meta is it's Facebook. Okay. And Zuckerberg had to face some hearings yesterday about kids and Instagram. So folks, you make sure that you keep on top of stuff like this, because and make sure you monitor what your kids are doing online. There's some serious concerns about social media use and young kids. And so Mark Zuckerberg had to testify yesterday on the Hill regarding those issues. So keep your eyes on that story as well. All right, we're going to move right along here. A man arrested after they busted him with 671 pounds of marijuana, y'all. Yep, I said marijuana, some weed stuff. He got pulled over at the weigh station, as I understand it, and they found almost 700 pounds of cannabis and some orange shipment. He's supposed to have been shipping oranges from California to Florida. Kind of suspicious because Florida is an orange state in itself, okay? And so he got pulled over probably at the weigh station. That when the officer had to investigate, you got agriculture inspection station to conduct it, to look at any kind of fruits or vegetables that coming in and out of the United States and in and out of each states. And so when they pulled him over, officers smelled cannabis. and they found 17 bags of it in a trash bag, hidden among the pallets of oranges. And this is what I don't understand, that it really baffles me about people that are nose blind to marijuana. People that do not smoke marijuana, partake in it, we can smell it a mile away, y'all. We can smell it a mile away. But people that uses it, participate with it, they can't smell it, and they assume that nobody else can smell it. Ha! Wow. All right, moving right along, it's some more national news. The White House is worried that the Potomac could smell like poop for their. See, that's the poop story. By the time they have their 250th anniversary, so keep an eyes on that stinky story, okay? That's all I can tell you. That keep your eyes, cause always have to throw some poop into the game here, y'all. You know that I couldn't pass up that story without reporting that story. But keep your eyes on that story. All right, let's go over to Santa Rosa County. There, they found 69 animals that were living in deplorable conditions in a home over in Okaloosa County, where they say that dozens and dozens of animals was living in deplorable conditions. And so Paul's, the Panhandle Animal Welfare Society, that's what that means, Paul's, the Panhandle Animal Welfare Society, say that they found cats and dogs and exotic animals like snakes and stuff like that living in squalors, And they said that they were cramped up in dirty cages and locked in bedrooms inside the house, and they counted up about 69 animals. So they confiscated the animals and rescued them and took them to safe haven and everywhere. The folks at the house and the folks at Paul saying that these animals were also infested with fleas and so forth, and they had to spend. The shelter saying they had to spend more than $45,000 to take these animals in, clean them up, and care for them. Now, the interesting thing that I find out about this case is, like I tell you, don't mess with puppies, okay? Because you can get in some real trouble. They found this case, and how they found out about it, maybe somebody turned them in. I'm not exactly sure. But they claimed that was some of the worst cases they ever seen. But they were living in houses with people with children, okay? They live in houses with people with children. And there were no charges against the family for this. Like I say, they say they found 52 cats, 10 dogs, 7 exotic animals, including a chinchilla. And, but at the same time, they were living in the same houses with children. They had feces everywhere, but there was no mention of what they were concerned about the children, or there was no charges that was levied against the family. So we're going to probably have to hear a little more about that. I just don't understand these many animals in this deplorable condition. They rescue the animals, but the children that living in the same house with them, there is no mention. Go figure. Okay, go figure. Let's move right along, y'all. Yesterday, I believe that the Escambia County was, and their parents was a little bit concerned. I think I reported this story yesterday. The parents a little bit concerned about the punishment that they are giving their children that participated in that ICE protest walkout. So they having to deal with the school board about that issue. So stay tuned. You'll hear a lot more about that story as well. Okay. Moving along, turning another page there. You remember the Raquel site? It named something else now. I think it called the Pollen Group. Well, more than 60 their workers lost their jobs yesterday or sometime this week as a result of that company packing up and leaving. Okay, so there's some unemployed people now in this town. So as a result of losing their job when this company just all of a sudden shut down. If you don't, they call themselves the Pollen Group, I believe, but they was usually called the Raco the composite company. But they ceased operation back in September. So those folks who was employed with them, some of them had been there probably more than 20, 30 years. They had more than 60 employees. They were notified last year that their job were going to be dissolving in October. So if you got people that's that working there, they're going to start seeking employment elsewhere. Okay, keep your eyes on that story. All right, a little bit of feel-good story, if you will. They had a career day yesterday with the kids in Escambia County, and where they went in and had what they call a construction career day. Okay, a construction career day where they gave some students a look at some high-paying construction job. We kind of shifting away from college education, and back to technical areas now. It's amazing how things come in full circle, and maybe the world is round for a reason, because everything what goes around comes around. I remember before a lot of emphasis was on college education. Now it's on vocational and technical education. I remember the times when white collar jobs were way more well-paying jobs than the blue-collar job. But if you look at the trend now, blue-collar jobs are beginning to catch up, and in some cases outpacing some of the white-collar jobs. So the emphasis now is back on technical type of jobs. And they had a career day yesterday trying to show students how technical jobs and blue collar type jobs is on the rise. And while we're on that subject, y'all, Escambia County, we're going to talk to Commissioner May on Monday about this. But Escambia County holds a summer program every year. Folks, if you're listening to me, I know your kids is not listening, but if you're listening and for your children and your grandchildren, they have a youth employment program that is open now. And I think they're going to close sometime pretty soon, but get a hold of anybody at Escambia County. If you got any children between the ages of 14 and 24, they are eligible to apply for the jobs with the Escambia County Summer Employment Program. Great program, a great program. Okay, it's on a first come, first served basis. So you need to go ahead and get online and apply online to find out how to get those jobs. Okay, it's a summer employment. You keep your children busy for the summer. They can earn some money. The pay starts around $14 an hour, I understand it. They'll be working in different areas of the county, in different county offices and everything. So make sure that your children know about that. Okay. All right. Moving on to some other news there. some new stuff talking about mold infestation in the VLP fire department. Okay, and so I'm not gonna linger on that story. This man here, y'all, he's doing all that he can trying to tamper again with the 2026 election. And he's talking about, I don't know, two things he was afraid of, and that is the Epstein file, which we all should be concerned about, and his obsession with wanting to be a king and want to be in power for life. Okay, and he would do it by any means necessary. That's my opinion, and I'm going to stick by it. All right. Before we go, one last story here. I want to talk about that just broke not so long ago. A 30-year-old motorcyclist was killed in a car accident, y'all, on W Street. Probably within the last 12 hours here, probably overnight. He, according to the report on late yesterday afternoon, the Florida Highway Patrol said the victim was riding a Harley motorcycle on North W Street, heading towards Pine Forest Highway, and somehow he lost control of his bike, which it caused him to fall into the roadway, which led to some injuries. And they responded to the scene, and they was notified that he did not make it. So the Florida Highway Patrol is investigating that case to see what the cause of the accident is. So stay tuned. We'll report more of that as we go along. Alrighty, I think that pretty well sums up the news. As I tell you, I'll just tell you the headlines that's going on. If you want details, listen to WEAR television, because that's where I get mine from. I get it out of the Pensacola News Journal just like you get it, but I just kind of summarize it so you don't have to summarize these stories, okay? And so that you know what's going on while you getting the children up, going to work, getting the children up to taking them to school, and you're going to work, and so that you don't have time to listen to it, so you can listen to me, so you don't have to turn the news on, so you know what's going on before you get to work. Alrighty, y'all. When we come back, y'all, we're gonna talk about some other stuff that's going on in the world. Remember, we got Cassandra Rosa report today. We got Jerry McIntosh with us today. We got Miss Robin Richard with us today, talking about local Black history and a lot of great stuff. So don't go anywhere. Just tell everybody, y'all, that Morning with Vernon is on. Just get your coffee cup. Get your coffee cup. Come on back, and you'll learn something with us, okay? We'll be right back.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
Looking for a moment of faith, hope, and connection? Join us for Prayer Perspectives by J.O. Gatson, live on WBQP TV and WBQP Radio. Every first Wednesday of the month from 9 to 10 p.m. Call in, share your prayer request, and receive prayer in real time. Mark your calendar starting February 4th. Prayer, Perspective, Power. Only on WBQP TV and WBQP Radio.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Call State Farm agent Arthur Searcy for your personal price plan today.
I remember these. Will I have the money to send my kid to college? Well, that's specific. How long has that been there? 7-letter word for a bank that helps you reach your goals.
Synovus. Order for Synovus?
Thank you.
Are you Synovus?
Yes.
Are you gonna ask or should I?
A solid financial future doesn't happen by chance. Let's talk about your potential today.
Navigating healthcare is hard. Baptist makes it better. With convenient locations, easy scheduling, and skilled, compassionate doctors. All when you need us most. The next time you need care, let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
Some mobile companies make it hard to get a good deal. But at Cox Mobile, we know there's a better way to save. A smarter way. That's why we run on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability without breaking the bank. You'll pay as low as $30 per line. It's a win-win. Cox Mobile, the smart way to mobile.
Stash your money somewhere smarter. With 5.05% APY, Penair's high-yield checking puts your money to work and earning big. Penair Credit Union. Join us.
These new Times the Cash scratch-offs have a fun multiplier feature. They're fun. You're fun. We're fun.
Agree to agree. Times the Cash scratch-offs from the Florida Lottery. It's good fun.
Day or night, your loved ones show up for you. At HCA Florida Healthcare, we do too. Because you're the center of our family, Florida's largest healthcare family. And you'll feel it in everything we do. HCA Florida Healthcare. We show up for you.
Need a new outfit for a special occasion? Look no further than Viola's Men's Apparel. Viola's has been providing the latest styles and accessories in Pensacola for over 20 years now. We have clothes for every occasion, and we offer consultations and group discounts. You can trust that our care, quality, and class will be unmatched. Viola's Men's Apparel for all of your men wear needs.
Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home has been in business since 1913. Hi, I'm David Hawkins, the owner of Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, saying we are a full-service funeral home. We offer pre-need funeral planning. We have a newly remodeled chapel and conference facility. Stop by and see us today. We have 9 vehicles, all waiting to service you. At Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, we appreciate your stopping by. On behalf of all of our family here at Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, thank you so much for allowing our family to serve you.
Larry Williams, your ECUA board member for District 3, presents the 4th Annual Community Prayer Breakfast, Saturday, February 21st, from 9 a.m. until 12 noon. This year's theme, The Church Prayed, Acts 12 and 5. On Saturday, February 21st, a delicious breakfast will be served. Our MC will be Anita Cromartie. Music by the Spiritual Persuaders. A cute comedy skit, A Shatarish Girl. Several visionary voices will speak. Our keynote speaker will be Pastor Darian Horton of North Carolina. Community Service Leadership Lifetime and Legacy Award recipients will be announced Saturday, February 21st, 2026, 9 a.m. until 12 noon at the Pensacola Improv, 375 North Page Boulevard. Donations are $20 in advance and $25 at the door. Youth 12 and under accompanied by an adult are free. Get your tickets now at the Original King's Barbershop. Get your tickets, they are available right now. Sponsorship to support seniors and our youth are being solicited and will be recognized. For more info, contact Larry Williams at 850-292-7139.
This is Prayer Perspectives by J.O. Gatson on your WBQP.
In the midst of prayer this morning, we are lifted and strengthened when the feebleness of our left hand touches the wholeness of God's right hand. Let us pray. Dear God, we bless you with such as we have on this morning. It's our left touching your right. It's our brokenness with tears which mutates into righteousness. Now, Lord, make good this day for us, that your glory may be revealed to the weak and faint. I pray in Jesus' name, amen.
This is Prayer Perspectives by J.O. Gatson on your WBQP.
Hi, Vernon. Here's a quick look at the week ahead. Monday starts with morning clouds and areas of dense fog, but we'll see sunshine by afternoon with a high of 70 and a low of 55. Tuesday stays partly cloudy with more morning fog. Highs hold near 69 with a low of 60. By Wednesday, clouds increase and temperatures warm up to the mid-70s with a mild low of 64. Thursday turns even warmer, mostly cloudy early, then things clear up in the afternoon, reaching a high of 76 degrees. Friday is more of the same, with temperatures reaching 77, a low of 64, and a 40% chance of rain. Overall, it's a week of warm temperatures with foggy mornings, increasing clouds, and rain chances. That's your WBQP TV weekly weather. I'm Cheryl Mulrain. Have a safe and wonderful week.
It's time for mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
All right, y'all. Good morning. It's time morning with Vernon this morning, y'all. I just want to say hello to everybody under Vernon's voice this morning. I want to make sure that I can get into some of the community news, y'all, community announcements that we're going to be making this morning, so you can know what's happening in your community. So I want to give you a minute to go ahead and get your penciler, what I call your penciler and your paper out this morning. Okay, go ahead and get your pencil and paper out, because I don't want you to miss any of the community announcements this morning that we're going to make, because it is important that you know what's happening in and around your community. Okay. Let's see, can we find what's happening in and around. These are public service announcements, by the way, y'all. These are public service announcements that we make every day, as often as we can, so that you'll know what's happening in your community. I know you got your pencil and paper already, so you can get your calendar, so you can mark your calendar. Well, let's start off. Let's start off with some events that's kind of a little bit in the distance here. This is Picara is having their annual gospel stage play, y'all. It's going to be on March 21st. Okay, going to be on March 21st. So make sure that you mark your calendar for that. While I got it on my mind, okay, while I have it on, I said I got it when I have it on my mind, y'all. I also want you to know that the Jacqueline Harris Preparatory Academy is holding their annual Black History program with the children, and it's going to be next Friday. I believe it's the next Friday, the 27th. I think it's Friday at the Pensacola High School auditorium. And folks, if you haven't seen these kids and their achievements, it is something that you definitely want to see. Okay, so put that on your calendar for next. I don't have a flyer for that, but on next Friday, which is the 27th, 5 o'clock at the Pensacola High School. So you make sure that you put that on your calendar. Okay. All right. What else you should put on your calendar is the Chappie James Museum is having on February the 28th, which is that Saturday, following Saturday, February the 28th. They're going to have their 2026 gala. Okay. It's going to be at the Sanders Beach Corrine Jones Center. And it's a fundraiser. So you definitely don't want to miss that, okay? So make sure that you put it in your calendar. All right, let's continue on with the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. They're presenting their Women of Excellence. They're presenting their Women of Excellent program called Masquerading of Excellent Unmasking Trailblazers. Okay. And speaking of, well, I'm talking about trailblazers, on yesterday, the Epps Christian Center and Pastor Tisdale held their annual Trailblazer Award down at the Bayview Community Center. If you didn't have an opportunity to go, we live streamed it as well. But not only that we're going to live stream it, but we also going to re-air it here on WBQP TV. So if you missed it, that's certainly an opportunity that you want to see. They honored people in different categories. So about 7 people was honored yesterday in this community. It's certainly something that you definitely want to see. All right. Now, if you want to shake your boogie, get your boogie on. If you want to learn how to dance, and if you're tired of doing that old 2 steps, dancing what you do down at the post every night, you want to shake it up a little bit, we can teach you. Dance Connection can teach you urban ballroom dancing and swing out dance. So that dance classes, these are fun, and plus, not only they're fun, but they also is good exercise for you. Okay, they got line dances involved as well. Okay, all right, moving right along. Again, more dancing here. They got this another social dance is going to be on February 28th. It's going to be at the at his personal by Sheila's. The Pensacola Smooth Dancers is putting that program on. Tickets are $15. Okay. All right, we're moving right along. You should hear a little bit more about this coming up in the future about the Main Street. This is happening over in Crestview for our friends in Crestview. Jill talked a little bit about it on yesterday about the Main Street Crestview Triple B. What that Triple B means is that barbecue, brew, and band. So go on Eventbrite. It's going to be held on March 28th, okay? March 28th. Also, the Escambia County Democratic Party is doing candidate canvassing, all right, every Saturday, y'all, starting at 1 p.m. So make sure you put that on your agenda. We had Mr. Brian Wire on yesterday talking about the Gulf Coast Minority Chamber, okay? The Gulf, formerly with the African American Gulf Coast Chamber, but called them the Gulf Coast Minority Chamber, having their annual meeting on March 24th. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. And here is the event that I talked about yesterday. It is come and gone, but you still get a chance to see it on WBQP TV. Okay. Moving right along, today, as of yesterday, Jill, Christina talked about this, where they had their Black Caucus meeting was scheduled on yesterday in downtown in Milton, where they had their Black History. They were celebrating Black History and had a little Black History program to go along with it. And certainly they're going to be talking about that on Our Voices this coming Sunday. Also, y'all, for this coming up weekend on the 21st of January, which is Saturday, over in Santa Rosa County, the Democratic Women's Group is having their program, a meeting at Pedro's over in Gulf Breeze. Okay, so if you're politically connected, put that on your calendar. Also, on the following week, on the 28th again, the Panhandle Progressives is having their program as well. So you need to put all this on your calendar. Tomorrow, though, not tomorrow. What's the day? It's Thursday. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow, the 20th. And we're going to have Robin Richard on a little later on this morning. And hopefully she's going to be talking about this. But they're having an event at the Kukua Institute that you definitely don't want to miss. It's Black History Month. You're going to begin to learn a lot about Black history. But they're going to have this event called Baptist Town Quilt. They're making the fiber of a community. The reception is going to be tomorrow at 5 p.m. at the Kukua Institute. And on Saturday, they're going to have an exposition and starting at 10 a.m. And certainly you don't want to miss what they call the Quilter Talk. And that is going to be hosted by Kukua and the Kukua Institute, which they will have a guest on by the name of Miss Patricia J. Gaston, who was born in Baptist Town, and she grew up there in the 60s. And you ask yourself, well, what is Baptist Town? Well, Baptist Town is a suburb, if you will, of Greenville, Mississippi. It's a neighborhood in Greenville, Mississippi that was founded in the 1800s. And this quilt kind of encapsulates the history of Baptist Town. It's a big old large scale quilt that tells the story of Baptist Town, okay? Because it's a great historical, predominantly African-American neighborhood in Greenville, Mississippi that you definitely want to know something about. Now, you want to trace your roots. We had a program. I got to get my program started back. We call Tracing Your Roots. It is important that you trace your roots. The Kukua Institute is also the following week on February 28th. It's having their event called Researching Your Family, telling your story, okay? It's a genealogical workshop to help you research and discover your ancestries and their story. I'm so glad I got into, I'm not really deep into genealogy, but when I did dip into it, I found a lot of great stuff about my family history and stuff that I was really, really proud of. I learned that my great-great-grandpa owned about 700 acres of land that he bought at some 50 cents an acre, and some was interesting. One of the interesting story about it, the reason that he owned, I never knew all this until I researched my history, and the reason he owned so much land, being a slave owner, I mean the son of a slave, because his daddy was white, okay? And he was one of the few white slave owners that kind of looked out at the interests of his children. And as the story was told, he knew that if he passed on as being a white man, that his property would never get down to his black children. So what he decided to do was to not will, what you call it, and that's where we're going to have Fred got to come on and give us some legal terms. But he decided to deed his children their land while he was living, okay, and his black children. And my great-great-granddaddy was one of his children that he deeded property to. And he also encouraged them to buy property, which was at 50 cents an acre. But the bottom line is, my great-great-granddaddy ended up with more than 700 acres of land that he passed down to his children. He had 13 children, and he left them some 40, 50 acre tract each and as well. So that's a great story that I learned through my lineage and a lot of other stuff. A lot, Emmett Smith is in our family. We learned even with when they trace his roots, everything led back to Burnt Corn, Alabama, y'all. So, but anyway, trace your roots. You won't regret it. But this is what you got to do at the Cuckoo Institute. All right, let me move right along because we're gonna have on this weekend, y'all, the ACUA commissioner, Mr. Larry, is having his fourth annual prayer breakfast, community prayer breakfast. He got a special guest on Mr. Darius Horton. He's going to be at this event at the Pensacola Improv this weekend, okay? And that Pensacola Improv is located at 375 North Pace Boulevard. So you want to make sure you get your tickets, buy your table, do whatever you need to do because you need to be at that prayer breakfast. Tickets are only $20 in advance. They're $25 at the door. If you got youth under 12, it's going to be free for them. You see the advertisement. That's what some of the sophisticated people call it, advertisement. The advertisement or the ads that he's been running on this station. Larry, one of the ones that support black businesses, so he running his ad here on WBQP. Not only because that's where his audience is, but because he support black businesses, and you should too. Okay, but anyway, let's move right along. Okay, move right along. The Ella L. Jordan House is also celebrating Black History Month, and throughout the month of February, they got activities going on over at the Ella Jordan House. Okay, over at the Ella Jordan House, and so every week this month, they had something. On the 3rd, they had a sing-along with Elder Vera Sullivan. On the 11th, they had panel discussion on health, mind, and body, and soul. And on the 17th, okay, which is, was it the 17th this weekend? Yeah, February 17th, they had an inspirational, which is on the day the 19th. So they had evangelist Vonda Yates on to do an inspirational event. I know if you missed that, you shouldn't have missed it, okay? On the 24th, they're going to have another event at the L.L. Jordan Museum called Life in 2026 and Beyond with Drusilla Jane and Minister Ramala Farmer. So you definitely don't want to miss those events. Another announcement, even though this flyer is not correct, but it's going to be what they call the Panhandle Virtual Town Hall with Mr. Willie Farrell, that's starting on this TV show every month on the second of every month at 10 a.m. Y'all don't never mind to say 10 is 10 a.m. to noontime, okay? 10 a.m. to noontime. And you definitely want to check in there because he talked about various social services that's available to the community, how you can get your light bill paid. I know with all of this weather coming on right now, all this weather that's coming on, people have excessive light bills. There are programs, there are programs that help people pay their light bill, help people pay their rent, help people find jobs. That is what this program is all about. It's called Pathway to Hope. It airs on WBQP every month on the second Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. And you will find out there's a lot of resources that's available to you and to your community. Okay, so you don't want to miss make sure you put that on your calendar to do that. Also, March 21st, Invest in You. Okay, got a community expo. They're talking about career opportunities and so forth. You put that on your calendar because it's going to be at the Brownsville Community Center, okay? At the Brownsville Community Center. So mark your calendar for that as well. Moving right along, we had Miss Gail Johnson on a couple weeks ago. Dance Connection. They're holding what they call a Silver Fox Stepping Line Dancing Gala. Okay, again, these are senior citizens, y'all. You definitely, dancing is for everybody. And they're going to have their senior citizens going to do their showcase on Saturday, March 7th. So put that on your calendar. If you want to sponsor a table, or if you want to sponsor a senior, okay, somebody that don't normally get out, that you want to get out and see their compadres out there that can cut a rug. So this is something they're going to have a special celebrity, an artist called Miss Sarah LaSoul. She's going to be performing live as well, and she plays the kind of music that these people dance to. You're going to be at the Pensacola Improv, y'all, located at 375 North Pace Boulevard. So you definitely don't want to miss that as well. All righty. More community announcement. We still into Black History. Y'all don't just celebrate Black History through the month of February, okay? Don't just celebrate Black History through the month of February. Celebrate Black History throughout the year. We're going to have to do that. But this time, this celebration, I know we have special celebration in February, but on February the 21st, you need to mark your calendar here. This is over in the Crestview area where they're going to be celebrating 100 years, their 100-year anniversary, starting at 6 o'clock, called a Century of Black History Commemoration. You're going to be at the Carver Hills Center School at 461 School Street there in Crestview, Florida. So you definitely, my friends over in Okaloosa County, over in Destin, Fort Walton Beach, over in Crestview, in that general area there, you might want to take note. We're going to have a guest on talking about this event here called the Blue and White Winter Affair. This is another event that's coming up this weekend, okay, at the Sandra Beach. Not this weekend, next weekend. Now, hopefully, we had a guest scheduled to come on to talk about. This is talking about reentry, helping ex-offenders, if you will, to reintegrate back into society, so they don't have to go back to jail, And so this is an event that is in support of that, and we definitely will have somebody on next week to talk about that, certainly talk about that event. All right. And I don't want to promote this too much because it's a paid one. I know they probably advertise with everybody but WBQP, but I'm here for the community. If you like Motown music, they're going to have a Motown event there down at the Singer Theater on March 20th, okay? But it's a paid event. But most of the stuff we talked about here on the station is community announcements so that you can put mark on your calendar and participate. One other thing I just want to make sure that you understand and talk about, let me see if I can pull it up, and I didn't have time to bring it up on my stream, but I did want to talk about it for 1 minute because it's important. It has to do with jobs and has to do with an announcement that came out on yesterday from the Escambia County government. Okay, they got applications now open for the 2026 Summer Youth Program. Okay, and I definitely want you to not miss out on that. Go on to the website. Tell your kids and your grandkids it's open for children between the ages of 16 through 24. Okay, and even younger than that, I believe. But this is paid work experience, jobs that these kids can use for the rest of their life. They can gain experience and be paid, and to give them something to do over the summer break, okay? And they can get paid for it. Just go on to the Escambia County website called myescambia.com, okay? myescambia.com/SYEP. That's the Summer Youth Employment Program. That's what that EP means. Just go on to myexcamier.com/SYEP. Okay? If you don't remember the EP, it's there. Just go on myexcamier.com and you'll see a link that will take you to that. Now, you got to get those applications in not later than February the 27th, okay? Not later than February the 27th. Now, I think the way they got it organized, if they had it in previous years, sometimes you get on there and you don't have time to complete the application. Sometimes you need more information. You can save it and resume it. But if you do that, just remember now to save it and send it. Okay, save it and send it. Because you can go in there and not save it. It's not going to be accepted. And so you have to do all of that by 5 p.m. You need to mark your calendar now. You got to do that by 5 p.m. on February the 27th. That's the deadline. Okay? They are not accepting application after that. But it's paid work experience, working about 30 hours a week at $14 an hour. That's good pay for kids that's 14 and 15 and 16 years old. But these for students, basically. For students, for high school students and college students from ages maybe 16. I think they said the age of 16 to 24. That's eligible. They will be working in different locations throughout the county and throughout different county governments. Okay, and we'll talk to Representative Lumen May about that on Monday when he comes back on Monday. All right, that kind of wraps it up for community news, y'all. It's 7:58. By the time I take a commercial break and come back, we will have Mr. Jerry McIntosh on, and following Jerry, we will definitely have Mrs. Robin Richard. She's going to be talking about some local Black history, and we're just going to have a great program for you, and any information that you need, folks, that you need in your community, and any information that you need me to pass on to the community, just text it to me or email it to me. Text it to me at 850-293-5007. I repeat that again. Text it to me at 850-293-5007 or email it to me at WBQP@WBQP.com or either WBQPTV@gmail.com. Either address, just get it to us, and there's no charge for community announcements. Okay, no charge for community announcement. However, though, if you have an event that's going on that you're going to make money off of, okay, for your own personal use, we can announce that as well for a very nominal charge. Okay, an announcement charge is not as expensive as a commercial. Sometimes you can't afford a commercial, that's fine, but we have the cheapest commercials in the world, so that it can get played many times, several times a day on the both TV side and the radio side, and you still can afford it. The purpose of this TV station, radio station is to make stuff affordable for our community. Okay, so you can afford to advertise with WBQP TV. Okay, the information station. Absolutely, the station that cares. All right, y'all, I'll be right back.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
Looking for a moment of faith, hope, and connection? Join us for Prayer Perspectives by J.O. Gatson, live on WBQP TV and WBQP Radio. Every first Wednesday of the month from 9 to 10 p.m. Call in, share your prayer request, and receive prayer in real time. Mark your calendar starting February 4th. Prayer, Perspective, Power. Only on WBQP TV and WBQP Radio.
Stash your money somewhere smarter. With 5.05% APY, Penair's high yield checking puts your money to work and earning big. Penair Credit Union. Join us.
These new Times the Cash scratch-offs have a fun multiplier feature. They're fun. You're fun. We're fun.
Agree to agree. Times the cash scratch-offs from the Florida Lottery. It's good fun.
Where does energy come from? Where does it go? At Pensacola Energy, we know that energy transfers from one form to another. Endless hot showers from our natural gas energize you. Your energy inspires others and grows into a positive energy force. Environmentally friendly, reliable, affordable natural gas from Pensacola Energy. We are your energy, Pensacola. For details on rebates, call 850-436-5050 or visit PensacolaEnergy.com.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Call State Farm agent Arthur Searcy for your personal price plan today.
Reign in the new year with a dazzling smile. Dr. Paul and the team at Marcus E. Paul DMD Gentle Family and Cosmetic Dentistry offer expert and comfortable dental care. From tooth replacement to addressing various needs, their friendly staff is ready to assist. Visit their office or call for the care you deserve. Achieve a beautiful smile with Marcus E. Paul DMD Gentle Family and Cosmetic.
Viola's Menswear, 2727 West Cervantes Street, Pensacola, Florida. Gentlemen, fine clothing at an affordable price. Suits starting at $139. Dress, shoes, hats, and accessories. Here at Viola's Menswear, 2727 West Cervantes Street in Pensacola, Florida. Call today at 429-7146, 2727 West Cervantes Street in Pensacola, Florida.
And action. Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home has been in business since 1913. Hi, I'm David Hawkins, the owner of Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, saying we are a full-service funeral home. We offer pre-need funeral planning. We have a newly remodeled chapel and conference facility. Stop by and see us today. We have 9 vehicles, all waiting to service you. At Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, we appreciate your stopping by. On behalf of all of our family here at Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, thank you so much for allowing our family to serve you.
Navigating healthcare is hard. Baptist makes it better. With convenient locations, easy scheduling, and skilled, compassionate doctors. All when you need us most. The next time you need care, let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
Larry Williams, your ECUA board member for District 3, presents the 4th Annual Community Prayer Breakfast, Saturday, February 21st, from 9 a.m. until 12 noon. This year's theme, The Church Prayed, Acts 12 and 5. On Saturday, February 21st, a delicious breakfast will be served. Our MC will be Anita Cromartie. Music by the Spiritual Persuaders. A cute comedy skit by Shatara's Girl. Several visionary voices will speak. Our keynote speaker will be Pastor Darian Horton of North Carolina. Community Service Leadership Lifetime and Legacy Award recipients will be announced Saturday, February 21st, 2026, 9 a.m. until 12 noon at the Pensacola Improv, 375 North Page Boulevard. Donations are $20 in advance and $25 at the door. Youth 12 and under accompanied by an adult are free. Get your tickets now at the Original King's Barbershop. Get your tickets, they are available right now. Sponsorship to support seniors and our youth are being solicited and will be recognized. For more info, contact Larry Williams at 850-292-7139.
Hi, Vernon. Here's a quick look at the week ahead. Monday starts with morning clouds and areas of dense fog, but we'll see sunshine by afternoon with a high of 70 and a low of 55. Tuesday stays partly cloudy with more morning fog. Highs hold near 69 with a low of 60. By Wednesday, clouds increase and temperatures warm up to the mid-70s with a mild low of 64. Thursday turns even warmer. Mostly cloudy early, then things clear up in the afternoon, reaching a high of 76 degrees. Friday is more of the same, with temperatures reaching 77, a low of 64, and a 40% chance of rain. Overall, it's a week of warm temperatures with foggy mornings, increasing clouds, and rain chances. That's your WBQP TV weekly weather. I'm Cheryl Mulrain. Have a safe and wonderful week.
This is Prayer Perspectives by J.O. Gatson on your WBQP.
Father God, we come situating ourselves by disconnecting with this world and connecting with heaven. Casting all our cares upon you, praying our way through, like the woman with the issue of blood. Now, Lord, we come with expressions of love and gratitude, asking you to bless us as we go throughout this day. Our prayer in Jesus' name, amen.
This is Prayer Perspectives by J.O. Gatson on your WBQP.
It's time for mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You got Vernon this morning. All right, Mr. Jerry McIntyre is going to be joining us very shortly here. But in the meantime, I want to make sure that we get our Black History on. And speaking of Black History, y'all, I just wanted to make sure that you know that, and I think everybody knows by now that Jesse Jackson passed this week, okay? And so that is a lot of Black history in it itself, okay? A lot of Black history in itself. But we talked a lot about Black history throughout the month of February, as we should. And also, what we want to do, y'all, is it is time for us to celebrate Black history 365 days a year, okay? You got to know your Black history. If you don't know your Black history, y'all, I have to tell you, if you don't know your Black history, you're going to be doomed to repeat it, okay? You're going to be doomed to repeat your Black history. So please know your Black history. Teach it to your kids year-round, okay? Teach it to your kids year-round. We've been running a series with Dr. Henry Gates on Black history, okay? And we talked about every endeavor, if you will, of Black history, but the one we hadn't talked about is the history of the birth of music, like Motown. We hadn't talked about that. That's traditionally Black history for us. We hadn't talked about the birth of the blues. We hadn't talked about the birth of jazz. You can see on and on and on, but we have had significant impact on our nation's history. And so it's so much. But I want to have, and then you have the Chicago sound. Then you got the sound of Philadelphia. Then you got the sound of stuff that's coming out of Clarksdale, Mississippi, that ultimately ended up calling it the blues, which ended up with other genres like Zydeco, other genres that result into what we now call Southern Soul, on and on and on. All right, I want to have Dr. Henry Gates, if you will, to give us a short on the Chicago sound. And let me tell you why we're talking about the Chicago sound, because, when the great migration, if you will, from the people that leading from the South, from Mississippi up to Chicago, and a lot of Black history that you probably don't know about, they had a great big flood. The Mississippi River overflowed and impacted a lot of the black community. So, as well as racism. And then what we had to do, y'all, was to, a lot of folks migrated up to Chicago. Chicken in the car won't go. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That led to a lot of Chicago blues sound. But let's talk to Henry Gates, talk about the birth of modern music. And I said all of that to get around to the mother of all of our music is the birth of modern gospel. Gospel music is the origin of all of our music. So let's talk about Black history in terms of music.
In the early 1900s, a mass exodus known as the Great Migration saw throngs of Southern African Americans uproot their lives and head north, seeking to escape the violence, terror, discrimination, and agonizing poverty of the Jim Crow South. Black migrants primarily moved to urban enclaves, bringing with them their families, their religion, and their musical traditions. This rural Southern religious musical culture mixed with Northern urban influences to give birth to a new sound, gospel.
Thomas Dorsey, who was named Georgia Tom, we credit him as being the father of gospel.
Thomas Dorsey left Atlanta for Chicago during the Great Migration, along with thousands of other migrants who made the journey north.
Thomas Dorsey arrived in what was really a Renaissance period in Chicago. There was a flourishing blues industry, a burgeoning jazz industry, and there was also the growth of small religious institutions, storefront churches in Bronzeville, which was the center of Black life in Chicago. And so the proximity between the jazz and blues clubs and the churches led to a great deal of cross-fertilization of African American culture in Chicago.
Dorsey was no exception to this cultural fusion. He began to write inventive new music, setting sacred words to the popular harmonic structure of the blues and jazz, including his most well-known composition, Take My Hand, Precious Lord, penned while mourning the death of his wife and their infant child.
Thomas Dorsey works with singers like Mahalia Jackson to get churches interested in the music that he's creating. It is both a spiritual imperative for him as well as a commercial one, how you sell music.
Reverend Clarence Cobbs of the First Church of Deliverance in Chicago was one of the early pioneers of this new gospel sound. Cobbs introduced the Hammond B3 organ into his pastoral home.
For us, being one of the first churches, if not the first church, to bring the Hammond organ from the club into the church, many other churches took his lead.
The history of African American music is a tradition of a division between secular music and religious music. Dorsey, in many ways, is the innovator of blending and movement across those forms.
Alrighty, that's talking about history of music, y'all. I gotta, one of the things that when you get old like me, you forget. I gotta do my Santa Rosa report. We're gonna have Mrs. What's her name again? Mrs. Robin Richard, I think. She's gonna be on talking about Black history. But let me get the Santa Rosa Yes, she's here. She's here, y'all. Okay. But anyway, let me get this, what's happening in Santa Rosa, and then we'll be right back. Only a couple minutes here. We'll be right back with Miss Robin Richard talking about local Black history, y'all.
Welcome to What's Happening in Santa Rosa County.
We've got a great show for you this week.
Hey everybody, my name's Christina and I am the president of the Santa Rosa County Democratic Black Caucus and president of the Santa Rosa County Democratic Women's Club.
And I'm BJ Brunius and I am the leader of the Santa Rosa County Democratic Party.
And so today we just wanted to come on and tell you a little bit about what's going on around Santa Rosa County. So coming up in Milton, there will be, I believe the Mardi Gras parade is going to be happening on January 31st. It's going to be from starting around 3 p.m. It's going to go from James Street to Stewart Street and then ending at Burger King. And from what I understand, there's going to be a 5 p.m. after party at Andy D's in Milton.
And on February 4th, an organization called Equal Ground is sponsoring a day at the Capitol. That's going to happen in Tallahassee at the Capitol, and you can register at Eventbrite for this event. If you need transportation, you can contact the leader of the Escambia County Democratic Party. That is Derek Scott. You can also contact a member of the Democratic Black Caucus and state committee woman with the Okaloosa County Democratic Party, and that would be Jill Lewis Daggs.
And we're super excited. We are going to have a Democratic Bad Bunny Super Bowl party. We're going to be doing this February 8th, 5:30. We've reserved a room at Pedro's over in Gulf Breeze. We're going to be providing some light appetizers. So if you want to come out, hang out with some like-minded folks, we'd love to have you. Again, that's going to be a Democratic Bad Bunny Super Bowl party over at Pedro's on February 8th at 5:30.
And on February 7th, Navarre is having a Mardi Gras parade from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So check out on social media with the Navarre Press or any of those affiliates to get your spot on the parade route.
Santa Rosa County is going to be supporting the Okaloosa County Democratic Black Caucus on their Black History fundraiser. They are doing something really cool this year. They are going to be having a Valentine's Day dinner. That's going to be on 14 February at 6:30. The cost is $25 for singles. So if you're single and ready to mingle, this is the place, or $45 a couple. The event's going to be held at Carver Hills School, and from what I understand, there's going to be a free professional photo, and that's what was put on the ad. So I hope to see everybody out there on Valentine's Day. On the 17th February, the Democratic Black Caucus will be having its meeting. We are going to do this as usual through Zoom. If you haven't paid your dues, dues are due for the Democratic Black Caucus. If you just want to come on out, see what we're about, we would love to have you. And so again, we're going to be celebrating Black history. We're going to be celebrating each other. And again, that's going to be on the 17th. And we invite you out to join us.
On the 19th, which is 2 days after the Democratic Black Caucus meets, the Santa Rosa County Democratic Party will also be meeting, and that meeting is going to be via Zoom. You can go to our website at santarosademocrats.org in order to get on our mailing list. You can also follow us on all of our social media channels. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Blue Sky, we're on TikTok. We're on all the socials, and people want to know, what are the Democrats doing in this area? So you can come out and figure out what we're doing on the 19th of February at our monthly meeting.
Then on the 21st, the Democratic Women's Club is going to be having its elections. That's going to happen at Pedro's. We're going to meet at 10 a.m. We'll have light appetizers. If you are interested in running for an office, please reach out to me. If you just want to come, join us, see what we're about. This is going to be a lively time, and we need all of us involved. In order to join any of the groups we've talked about, whether it's the Democratic Black Caucus, the Democratic Women's Club, or to be a part of just the Democratic Party, the only thing you have to be is a Democrat. That's it. Is open to everyone. So we welcome everyone. So if you like, come on out. Again, this is a notice of elections that are going to be happening for the county-wide offices. So we've got president, vice president, treasurer, secretary. Again, that's going to be on the 21st, 10 a.m. at Pedro's, and we need everybody there. So please come on out and join us.
And the day after the Democratic Women's Club elections, an event at Pedro's in Gulf Breeze, there will be another candidate who is making a stop in the Panhandle. We will have Tamika Lyles, who's the Democratic candidate who is currently running in the Democratic primary for United States Senate to represent the great state of Florida. She's planning on making a stop in Escambia as well as Santa Rosa County, and that location is to be determined, but it will most likely be in Gulf Breeze. And what we're hoping is that many people in Santa Rosa County come out to hear candidates. It's not very often that we get statewide and national candidates to take an interest in the Panhandle. So we want to come out and support these candidates and hear what they have to say and hear what they plan to do on our behalf if they are elected to the Senate. So come on out on the 22nd, that's a Sunday, to see Tamika Lyles.
All right, so y'all heard it here. Definitely save those dates. Vernon, we want to thank you for all you do for making sure this information gets out. You are needed, and we so appreciate you. If anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. My name is Christina Forrest, and you can find me through the Democratic Women's Club of Santa Rosa County, the Democratic Black Caucus of Santa Rosa County, or you can reach out to me personally.
And again, I'm BJ Brunius, the leader of the Santa Rosa County Democratic Party, but I'm also a member of the Democratic Black Caucus, a member of the Democratic Women's Club. And so we wear many hats, and you can't say that things aren't happening in Santa Rosa County. As we just listed, there is a robust February of events that you can participate in if your heart calls you to it. Thanks so much.
Y'all take care. Be safe.
What's happening in Santa Rosa County, Florida?
With Christina
Alrighty,
and BJ.
That's the Santa Rosa County report. Some of the information that was dated because it's a pre-recorded show, and my bad. I should have edited out the old past stuff. But when you're a one-man show, Robin, like me and Jerry, sometimes you can't always do it. I want to welcome Jerry McIntosh, my co-host, with me, along with Mrs. Robin Richard, that comes on every Thursday to talk about Black history. First of all, good morning, Jerry. How you doing?
I'm doing good. What about you?
All right, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Robin, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I have Black History Month voice on, but I'm doing good though.
Oh, good.
Well, maybe because you hosted the Trailblazer Award yesterday, maybe that took your. Did that take your voice away?
That didn't take my voice away, but I had that, and that was amazing. I'm so glad that you were there as always to capture that and to see all of those beautiful people and their passionate work being celebrated. And Reverend Tisdale does an outstanding job of putting the program together, making sure all the selections are equal and fair. And so it was celebrating. And then last night I was at Free Will Ministries Black History Month program, sharing with them some local Black history, and their little children, their youth did a play about the Selma March, and that was fantastic. So kudos to Bishop Paul and Pastor Sharon Jones at Free Will for that. So I've had a busy month, and I'm grateful for it all. So that's what I call this Black History Month voice.
Well,
hey,
very good.
What's up, home girl?
Hey, I'm here.
All righty, y'all. You want to get into some Black history locally? You know, before we get started, and then I know this is going to be a part of your thing, but you know, tomorrow you are having a Black history event, if you will. Talk to us about that event tomorrow, because that is quite a bit of Black history that a lot of folks don't know about. And
and actually, that's what I'm going to talk about as the Black History moment. And so thank you so much, Bar. I heard you earlier promoting that, and then the genealogy workshop. I really appreciate that. So a dear friend, and I call her my gardening buddy, that's how we initially met, grew up in Greenwood, Mississippi, which is in Leflore County, and Leflore County, Mississippi. And she grew up there in the 50s and came of age in the 60s. And so Greenwood has this amazing backstory. I'm learning a lot about it. But it was this area called Baptist Town. And it was where, so they are bounded by railroad tracks and this tributary to the Yazoo River.
Yeah.
And so they would literally go to this tributary, and I believe I'm going to butcher the name. I think it's called Palucia Bayou. They would go there, and we have obtained photos. I'm so grateful to Alan Hammonds in Mississippi. They do some work with Visit Mississippi, and he shared that we have these early baptism photos. They are taking these folks down to the creek and baptizing them. So this church, so this is where they would take Black folks to have them baptized. Black folks would take themselves down there to have them baptized. And then this church, McKinney Chapel Baptist Church, came in the 1880s. So there is some undocumented evidence that this community was started in the 1870s, but we know it was there for sure when McKinney Baptist Church was built in the 1880s. I believe it was 1889. And so they would take their parishioners to the creek, to the bayou, to get baptized. And many of you know about especially Mound Bayou, Mississippi, which was like the epicenter of Black culture there. I know Representative Benny Thompson is very proud of the history of that town. It's all Black town at Banks and all. It's fabulous. So Baptist Town was his neighborhood where it is said that the most of the Blacks lived. We don't know that for sure because Greenwood did have a huge percentage of African American there because of coming out of the enslavement period. Many of them stayed there. And so this neighborhood was called Baptist Town. Well, it started being built up. We found that it had a college there, Greenwood College. There were public schools there. And so this community really started being built up and more people started coming there. Well, here the Gadsden family was there at least in the early 1900s. Patricia's born in the 1950s. And so in the 1960s, she is bound. It's a multi-block area, but her parents, her mother is a cosmetologist. Her father works at the what do they call it? The oil factory, and Planters Oil Factory. I believe that's where he worked at, Planters Oil Factory. And so she and her siblings are constrained to this four block area. And so she had seen a map, I think around 2020, of this and thought that because she grew up under her mother quilting, learning how to quilt. And so she thought she would quilt that 4-block area. But when she started doing the research on it, it was absolutely amazing. Not only her memory and the pictures that she had, we have, because of her family's archives, we have these amazing pictures of it. And some of these people, they look like they come right out of Central Casting. These pictures are beautiful. And so she started doing the whole Baptist town instead of just her 4-block area. And she remembers the cotton compress, Mississippi, of course, that was a major agricultural industry. So she does the cotton compress, the railroad tracks, the bayou, the children playing, the houses, the church. Her family eventually went to New Zion, which came out of McKinney Baptist Church. And so it's this whole neighborhood that she has quilted. And as you said earlier, this quilt is humongous. It is 10 feet across and I believe 8 or 9 feet tall. And so we've been doing dry runs with it to make sure that we have it adequately supported. And so to see it is absolutely magnificent. So I'm so grateful to that. And African Americans have this long history of quilting. One of the earliest, let me look at my note because I'm still researching this lady, Harriet Powers, who was born in the early 1800s and is said to have brought this narrative style quilt to what white Americans would do, which was that traditional patchwork quilt, just for function. So you used the quilt to put on your bed to keep warmer. Sometimes you used it to put on the wall to keep drafts out. Well, Harriet Powers elevated the quilt game, if you will. And her works, two of her works are now in the Smithsonian magazine. So she was a landowner, had been formerly enslaved, was a landowner and very successful. They ran into some challenges and ended up selling one of the quilts. And that's actually how one of the quilts was acquired. And so many of her other quilts were lost, but she elevated quilt making to this narrative form and to an art form. And so she is celebrated for that. And then let me say this finally about Greenwood. So Patricia grew up, and she's going to tell these stories tomorrow during the Saturday during the Quilter Talk, a little bit on tomorrow night at the reception. But one of the things that she wasn't directly involved, but her siblings were involved in the civil rights movement there. If you remember when James Meredith was denied enrollment at the University of Mississippi, he was frustrated with the process. And so in June, he decided to make a track heading to, I believe, Jackson. He was going to the state capitol. He was going to Jackson. And so either the first or the second day of his walk, I think this was a 250-mile walk that he was making. On the second day of his walk, he was gunned down. He was shot, survived, and still lives today with those wounds. But because of his start, men and women, but on the lines that we know, Dr. Martin Luther King, Hosea Williams, Andrew Young, and the most pivotal one was Stokely Carmichael. Stokely Carmichael, who was right there with Dr. Martin Luther King, a part of the SNCC, Students for Nonviolence Coordinating Committee. He really took up the mantle and elevated. He didn't start it, but it is a tribute to another gentleman. He elevated the Black Power saying, the slogan, and I'm not sure about the fist, but he elevated that slogan, and he did that right in Greenwood, Mississippi. So when they were walking into Greenwood, Mississippi, carrying on James Meredith's march, this is in 1966, they were setting up what they called a tent city in the very elementary school where Patricia went to school, Stone Street Elementary School. The law enforcement said you are not to do this. And so because this was public property, they said that they were, that they could do it and that they would be under arrest. And so Stokely Carmichael, and we have the pictures of him actually being arrested. Stanford Library has this amazing collection that we're able to use of him being arrested. Oh, Dick Gregory was there too. One of my favorites. Dick Gregory was there. And so when he was released from jail, he gave this powerful speech. It was a speech given at night. And so when he said Black Power, the crowd started repeating it. And that happened again right there in Greenwood, Mississippi. And so it was this amazing time. It was a turbulent time, but Greenwood became, during 1963 and 1966, it became the epicenter of this struggle. Couple that with what they were dealing with all along as a Southern town, and again, the predominant race there was African American, but it was ruled by white Americans. And so you had that struggle. You had abject poverty because they still had the system where, what did they call that when you were, help me out, y'all, when you were farming property, but you didn't own it.
Sharecropping?
Sharecrop. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they had this, they were still in the sharecropping mentality. One of the gentlemen yesterday told me, or the day before, told me that that system where you would share crop and then you would go to the store. The store was owned by the person who owned the land, and the prices, of course, were inflated. They were done very wrong, and so you really do see all of this going into the 60s and the 70s, and some say that it is still happening today because Green Baptist Town, again being the epicenter, is still dealing with the ramifications of that segregation and that inequality and mistreatment. And so, even though they've come a long way, the mayor, I don't know if he's the first, but is African American. They've had an African American female mayor. But they're still dealing with these ramifications, even though the political system has changed somewhat. They're still dealing with the ramifications. So that is what this quilt embodies. It is a narrative quilt. It is hand stitched and machine stitched. She has appliques on it. She has pictures on it, and it is absolutely fantastic. So we're actually installing it today, and then we will have the reception. The public is invited to that tomorrow, Friday, February 20th, from 5 till 7 p.m. Patricia and her family will be in. She told me yesterday that some of her family who were flying in, she still has family in Mississippi, in Georgia, in Ohio, and I believe still in New York. And they are coming in to see this. They have not seen the quilt in all of its full regalia. So I'm so grateful, number one, to be her friend, but number two, to be able to have the to have her first exhibition of this quilt.
You know what, Robin? We will be there tomorrow.
Thank you.
To cover the event tomorrow night, but I can't be there Saturday because I can't be in too many places at the same time. But what I always give people assignment when they come on this show. So I'm gonna give you an assignment to give to your husband, because I know he's gonna record it, right?
Absolutely.
Tell him I need for him to get on Zoom with one of his inputs. And Zoom, as we're doing today, Zoom it to me because I want to broadcast this live after the Blues House show. Blues House show goes off at 2:00. I want to follow the Blues House show with that quilter talk, and I think that's certainly
wonderful. Thank you.
Absolutely important. We're going to do it live, and so I want him to. I want to send him a Zoom link.
Okay.
That we'll be able to do this live on WBQP.
He will be happy. Thank you for that. One of the people that I've met via phone call is a professor at Miles College, and she is from Greenwood. And she's making the circuit doing her name is Erica Sandifer Ayers.
Mm-hmm.
She is making the circuit doing a film called Mission Recompense: Love Letters to the Delta. And she has granted us use of a snippet of a historian there, a local historian, talking about talking about Baptist Town. He does local tours, and so she'll be happy. I'll let her know because she's in Birmingham. Yeah, I'll let her know.
Okay, great, super. Jerry, I know you want to jump in here.
Yeah, I just wanted to. So this is. This weekend, not next weekend.
Yeah, this is tomorrow. Yes.
So what's happening on the 28th then?
The 28th is the genealogy workshop from 9 till 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, then I get a chance to be there. I was thinking, I'm gonna miss out because I know we're having something and you're having something the same day, and I'm like, I thought it was about the quilt. Because I wish my brother. I got a brother in Georgia, in Atlanta, in the Atlanta area. My mom used to make quilts. Also, we all made quilts together. Because she taught us all how to sew. And back then we had those what you call the pedal machine.
Yes.
Yeah, we had one. That's what I used to. I still sew. I still sew. I make my kufis and stuff like that.
Okay.
But That's what we used to do. We used to make quilts, and she would cut out all the patterns and stuff like that, a small pattern. Then we had to put all this stuff together. And then you had to, she would have us to make these thing, make it look like a circle in there, and then you put all these pieces in there, and you know it was on a round. She cut it off a drum, you know, and you would wrap it underneath there and sew it, and then sew it to stay tight, and then you sewed all the pieces together. So it was awesome the way they did that. And then she would have the boards, the long rows of on both sides pole, and then you had to get there and sew from one end to the other one. Then you put it on the machine and sewed the cotton into it, so it wouldn't come out when you washed it. Wow. My brother still have one. I had one in Chicago. I used it till the thing fell off. It was so comfortable.
Hey Jerry. Hey, Jared, I'm looking at Robin. She's such a young pookie, but that she don't know nothing about quilt making. When you said that, it brought back so many floods of memories on how my grandmother used to make quilts, and you had to cut out these little patches, and it's an art.
It's art to it.
It's certainly an art. And we can talk about that. You ask her later how she make that quilt. It certainly is an art to it, and you know what? I don't know. Speaking of Black history, maybe are we responsible for that, Jerry? Is that an art that Black folks started because of quilt making? I don't know, but it's interesting.
Yeah, because they didn't make. They made like sheets and stuff, but they didn't make quilts.
Yeah. So as I said, Harriet Powers is who's African American, is attributed to starting she's attributed to starting quilting as an art form. Mm-hmm. So the Smithsonian has 2 of her quilts in their collection. And so before that, just as y'all are saying, and just as you said, Jerry, that quilts were used as a function because they kept you warm. Keep the warmth inside, keep that cold outside. And so they were used daily. It seems like I remember Lloyd or one of his siblings talking about that their grandfather would keep the quilts on the bed year round. So you would just peel them back in the summertime, but they were always on the bed.
Right.
So Harriet Powers, who's African American, is the Smithsonian has attributed her with elevating quilt making to an art form.
You know, and those quilts, once you washed it, it was so heavy you couldn't wring it out. You had to put it on the line and let it drip because it was so heavy. And and in the wintertime, it took a long time for that quilt to dry. You had to try, like where we was at, we had the fireplace and wood heaters. And so we had to put the quilt around near the fire, where the fire was, and then put a tub underneath it so the quilt could drip out of the fire and dry, so the fire would dry.
Wow.
So it was, when you down in the Delta, because parts of Mississippi and Arkansas and all that considered the Delta where we were at. And then nothing but cotton, soybeans, and all of that was in there. It was all farmland where we were at, I mean, even though you had the city right there, you could walk into the city, which was like, I guess, about a half a mile away, and we used to think that was a long way walking across there, but we had shortcuts through the woods,
Yeah.
But yeah, we used to make quilts. My mom used to make everybody sew. Everybody had to learn how to sew. Everybody had to learn how to quilt. She would always tell you, if you ever get out on your own and you don't have anybody to help you, you know how to do this yourself. So, you can't afford to buy that. You know how to piece it together. So it was great learning all that stuff. I didn't like it at the time, but I realized when I went to Chicago how cold it would get. That quilt came in perfect handy.
Well, if you try to buy an artistic quilt today, you are talking on the very low end, $1,000.
Yeah, right.
The very low end. Somebody now she passed, I believe, last year or the year before, Faith Ringo, who's one of my favorite quilters, who does storybooks and quilts, or she does storybooks off of her quilts. And her daughter, Michelle, is carrying that legacy on today. But for the younger is Bisa Butler. And so to buy one of their quilts, or Michael Cummings, who's a brother out of New York, to buy one of their quilts, you're talking certainly 5 digits and probably up to mid 5 digits now. So these quilts have been elevated to this amazing art form.
You're right.
Yeah. And since we're talking about Greenville, Mississippi, and the Mississippi Delta.
Greenwood.
Greenwood, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Tyrone Davis from there. But anyway, and BB King just right down the road.
Right down the road in Indianola, that's right.
In Indianola. And Mr. Porter from Belzoni, Mississippi. But anyhow,
okay.
Just as a side note,
Belzoni, Mississippi.
Belzoni, Mississippi, yeah. Just as a side note, the Mississippi Delta is completely rich with a lot of Black history.
Yes.
And one of the little known Black history, because all of that flat Delta land they're known for rice. You believe that? Uncle Ben Rice was generated there.
Rice. I'm from, we're from Arkansas, homeboy.
But a lot of folks don't know that. They think rice came from China. But
yeah, what's the rice capital of America's in Arkansas? What's the name?
Southern Arkansas, and northern Louisiana,
We used to race cars down there. I can't think of the name of it right now. But it's right there in Arkansas. Sure is.
Yes. I didn't mean to get off on that, but I just don't throw that little tidbit in. I'm going to go back on back to you about the quilting workshop.
I think the thing she talks about going to a store that was owned by an Asian American, and I can't remember the country that they're originally from. So I was asking one of the historians on Tuesday about other cultures, because you hear Black, you hear white, and of course we know that this is a Native American land. And so I was asking about other cultures, and he said that when they had cleared the land, as Homeboy was talking about, they had cleared the land for use for agriculture, because of course all of that was wooded, and so you have this rich soil. Well, they brought in I believe Chinese, predominantly Chinese people to work the land, thinking that because, as you talked about with the rice, that they would be able to transfer those skills over to the Delta. Well, the heat was very different. The weather was very different. So then other groups started coming in, including, he told me, Italians and Jewish people started coming into the Greenwood area. So you had this really interesting mix of, I'll say, traditional white, traditional Black, and then these other ethnicities. And so it was this unique mix, and I believe that's probably how, in large part, you got a lot of this different agriculture in. Because people bring themselves, even if they're forced to, as African Americans were, they bring themselves and their culture into
with them.
And it gets intertwined.
Stuttgart is the name of the place that I was trying to think of.
I forgot that history.
They grow they grow a whole bunch of rice. They let that water loose up there in that water and that rice.
Robin, I just want to advance to the next week. You're going to have the genealogy thing, and I think people sometimes take genealogy for granted, but you can find a lot about.
Hold on, Vernon, hold on. Homeboy, did you hear Vernon early talking about how much acreage his family has? So don't forget we're your cousins, Vernon. Okay, we're your cousins.
Well, you know what? But that's the beauty of the history of that. And my granddaddy, great granddaddy acquired a lot of property, and what he did was he distributed through he had 13 children, so he distributed 50 acres as they come of age. While they were living, he did what his daddy did. He deeded to them while they were living. And another interesting story that I found out, and my daddy was a property owner in his own right. He owned about 300 acres of his own land. We never sharecropped. And I never understood why he had so much farmland, because we had to work that damn land. And so but then I found that when I did he never talked about it much, but when I did my genealogy, my history, his daddy, with his share of land, he had about 50 or 60 acres of land that his daddy deeded to him that was working. When my dad was 14 years old, his daddy died all of a sudden in the middle of a summer of a heart attack. And my grandmother lost all of that land over a $300 debt that they was in the middle of it, because it was just her and a 14-year-old. She had a 14-year-old, which is my dad, and a 12-year-old, which is my uncle, and they wasn't able to get the crop in, and the white people took all that land for $300.
Wow.
And then my daddy said that and I guess that he went on this quest and said it never happened again, and he started acquiring land in his own right, and as much as he could during his Jim Crow era, which I was surprised he was able to acquire as much land as he did. But anyway, I learned all of that through genealogy and trying to research my roots. And if people start shaking that tree, you find out some real nuggets in that tree,
Yeah, I think that's the power of having that conversation with your family. Is finding out all of those nuggets, those tidbits, and as I always say, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Finding those things out. And then you can get in there where you fit in. So somebody in your story, Vernon, may be interested in real estate.
Right.
Another person may be interested in farming. Another person may be interested in media or journalism. And so you have to get in where you fit in. I was not interested in a purely genealogical thing, so as in the Bible, they say, so-and-so begat, so-and-so begat, so-and-so begat, so-and-so. That's not how I came in. I always liked a good story. Tell me a good story about my great Aunt Mary, or in this case, a story that I'm leading off this next project with is my great Aunt Leola, who by the time she was, I believe, 19, was on her third husband. And yes, yeah, was trying to get to her third husband. She was married and was trying to get to her third husband, shot the second one, and then ends up marrying. And so it's that to me is a story. I ain't gotta like it, but that's a part of our family history. And so I'm thinking, what was Aunt Leola thinking? Number one, but what did she have that these men really like? That's what I want to know. What did my great Aunt Leola have that by the time she was 19, and she had her own house because her father, my great grandfather, as you talked about, had deeded over when he died. He split some of their property up. So my from my side, that was my great grandmother's sister, and so my great grandmother and her husband, they ended up buying part of her father's 40 acres. And so she had her own house. And so this man who was a musician, he was there, and she wanted to go to a dance. And he said, you ain't going to a dance. And so he pulled a rifle on her, and they ended up fighting over the rifle. And she shoots him, or the gun, she shoots him, kills him, and then she goes down to the sheriff and say, I shot him, I guess he dead. And so the only reason I'm laughing is because it is an unbelievable story.
Yeah.
But that's how, for my family, that's how I get in, is hearing these stories and going, Okay, so who was Aunt Leola, and then understanding who she was in our genealogical line, and
Yeah.
so that's how. But we're going to do straight genealogy as well. Dr. John Veasley, who is this amazing genealogist and had been at one time vice president, he may still be, of the West Florida Genealogical Society, will start us off and have show people how to do that genealogy. And then we will have Mark Hopkins, retired Professor Mark Hopkins, show us how to identify elements in a picture. You know, so someone passes on and you look in their attic or under the bed or in the closet and you see all of these pictures in a cardboard box or in a chest. Who are they? What are those things that can help you identify who they are? And then we're gonna end with how to research military history. Of course, in this town, Pensacola, as they say, the cradle of naval aviation, we have a huge military presence and civil service presence. Folks like you, Vernon, and my husband, and so. So how do you research the military history, which in some cases is very different from the straight genealogical,
Right.
the records are very different, and you can obtain those records differently. So Hill Goodspeed from the National Museum of Naval Aviation is going to come and do that, and then we're going to end with, and that's why I'm hoping that Jerry can, and Jerry, bring me a piece of bread and some bacon from y'all's breakfast now. That we're going to have a longtime city councilman, now retired, Fred Richardson, to talk about his family. And he didn't know about, of course, he knew about his family, which is from Nymph, Alabama. So
Right down the road from Burnt Corn, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, y'all may be cousins, then. Y'all may be cousins. So his great uncle, his grandfather's brother, I believe, great grandfather's brother, was Captain Isaiah Richardson, who was the commander for the militia guard here, the all-black militia guard called the Garfield Guards, and that's that beautiful picture that you put up, Vernon. And so because of a connection that we did at Kwanzaa with this grandson of Amanda Richardson, and I was showing him the picture, and I said, "Hey, your grandmother's last name is Richardson." And so I asked Amanda. Amanda didn't know, but she connected me to her extended family and told me where they lived here in Pensacola. And lo and behold, Captain Isaiah Richardson lived right on Haines Street, started a church called Bethlehem Baptist Church. We don't know if it morphed into anything else, but I do know that Zion Hope was originally in that area on Haines Street. So we don't know if it morphed into something else after he passed sometime around 1909. And so this is so you'll be able to do a case study on this family, but it is because of that. I won't say chance encounter, but it's because of that encounter with that young man that we chose, the Richardson family, Captain Isaiah Richardson, to make as our case study.
Okay.
So yeah, genealogy is so important. Knowing that
it is.
As my mama said in the one town that we grew up in before we moved back to our family land, she said, y'all don't need to date anybody out here because they may be your kin. They may be your kin. So don't date, don't marry. Don't date, don't marry.
And I got a Blues Hound joke I'll tell you about that, but I'll save it for the Blues Hound show. Okay? Well, I can tell it's a clean joke, but anyhow, we were talking about cousin, and the guy had he went and told his dad about he met this girl down the street, and the dad called him to the side and said, "No, son, that probably your sister. Don't date her." And he found another girl on another street and said, "Daddy," and he said, "No, he might be your sister," and then on and on. And so he just got frustrated one day, but he said, "Don't tell your mama." But he got frustrated one day. He brought this girl of his dream home, and he said, "No, son, she might be your sister." So he went and told his mama about it. She said, "Son, don't worry about it. You ain't none of his anyway, so there ain't no danger in being your sister." He ain't your daddy. Anyway.
Very
Daddy creeping, mama creeping too.
Yeah, the midnight creeper, y'all.
They say the good for the goose is good for the gander. You better watch that. You better watch that.
Yeah. You know, one of these days, Robin, we got to get on there. We're going to talk about old sayings like that. What's good for the goose and good for the gander, and all these little crazy saying and the origins of some of these crazy saying that you hear your grandmama say, and that we use universal in our community that you probably don't hear anywhere else. I don't ever hear white people talking about slapping their children into next week. You know, my grandmother used to tell me that all the time. She'll slap me into next week. I said, what?
Well, a lot of those metaphors was for other people not to understand what we were talking about. That's what that was about. So it's like the genealogy. We were doing things and not to get around what other people. We were talking about them in a lot of instances. And they didn't know it, so we made it look like it was we were talking to ourselves or talking about ourselves when we were talking about someone else. Because they're just like what you call it when you go over to the white side. You speak another language and you get back into the black community. You know who you're talking to.
Yeah, when you're in Rome, you got to do what the Romans do, right?
Yeah.
What you call it? Code switch. Yeah, the code switch.
Yeah. What is that? Paul Lawrence Dunbar. We wear the mask.
Yeah.
One of my daddy's favorite sayings was two of one was on my sister, but the one that he would say, he said, if you can't pay bills, pay attention.
I have to laugh at this because and then we got to go, y'all, because we got to leave it at this till we get back next time. But my son, I got a son and a daughter, right? And my son always teasing his sister about, when you put on your white voice when you're around these white folks and stuff like this. And then yesterday, just yesterday, he got a phone call from his office, right? And he put on his white voice. I said, whoa, wait a minute now. He was just talking. I said, Lord have mercy. And you get on your sister about your white voice. But again, I understand when you're in Rome, you got to do what the Romans do. But
code switch.
The code switch, exactly. Code switch. Y'all, I tell you, I enjoy it. We don't ever have enough time to film. We got to start coming in. I want to do like my general used to do when I was in the military. We used to have these meetings early, 6 o'clock in the morning. He's always psychiatrist. What that big word? What that big word I can't pronounce? Psychiatrist. But anyway, he always
psychologically.
Not psychologically, but anyhow, he always said, I don't know who be calling these meetings this early in the morning. I sure hate having these meetings. He used to say that every time we did. I'm thinking to myself, hell, you're the one that called it. We don't have to do that. but anyway, I'm always talking about we need. Yeah, I said, I don't. Maybe we got to start coming in a bit early. I always talk about it, but we don't. But we don't never have enough time to finish all the stuff that we talked about.
Wow.
Before we have to go. But anyway, I want to turn it back over to you. Y'all got anything to wrap it up in 30 seconds each?
Just really quick. I just thank you for this opportunity to share. I invite everybody out to come to the Kukua Institute. That's at 300 North Rue Street, right down on the blocks in historic Belmont de Villiers. It's the old Greek church right at the corner of Wright and Rue Street. And so
what time, Rob?
5 o'clock. The reception is 5 till 7. The exhibition opens tomorrow, 10 to 5, and the quilter talk is at 2 o'clock. So come and meet Patricia. Come and see the quilt, and just and come and open up those memories like homeboy and Vernon been doing this morning, because your family has these amazing stories too.
Jerry?
Just want to say, don't forget, we got a Black History breakfast next Saturday. The doors open at 8:30. We start eating promptly at 9. And I'm speaking, and I'm going to do the call of the drum.
Okay. All
I
right.
wish you were there, Robin.
Jerry, you get anybody.
Record it.
If you get anybody documented, make sure that we get a copy of it. So, because everybody can't be there, and so they're gonna miss out on something that we're gonna make sure they can see it here on WBQP. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you, folks. Thank you, Pensacola. We'll see you tomorrow. Another edition of Morning with Vernon.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah.
Yes, we go out, y'all.
Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio.